Welcome back to Bookview TV. Now, our guest this week is Scotsman Seumas Gallacher. He's author of The Violin Man's Legacy and Vengeance Wears Black, and he was also the Emirates Blogger of the Year. Now, Seumas, the story of Jack Calder's success is as much due to you building a very specific platform for finding readers. I mean, you've had tens of thousands of downloads on Kindle and other sources. So let's talk a bit about how you started selling these books of yours.
Okay, to kick off with, I am a self-professed Jurassic in terms of computers and how all that stuff works. So let's understand that. This can be done by anyone if I can do it. When I retired from my other job, which was in the banking field 4 or 5 years ago, and we do whisper that, I started writing these books. And the only social networking link that I had was LinkedIn, which a lot of people mistakenly think is only used for putting CVs and biodata onto job hunting. I put it onto there at the same time as discovering Kindle. And I put it out to what I had then was a collection of 200 connections, asking them to help me have my little punch at the moon. Asking them if they wanted to buy the book and download it from Kindle, that was fine. But really what I wanted them to do was to send it out to all of their address book and ask them to do the same and do the same and do the same. And I thought, this is wonderful. After a month, I had sold 80 copies and I felt, wonderful, Mama, I'm an author. Look at this, I'm published. After 3 months, it was at 17,000. And after this length of time, we're now at 67,000 and rising. But at the same time, I was lucky enough to read an article by a lady called Rachel Abbott, another author, who had done the same as me, put out her first book, and then realized as a business person that this writing thing is a business. And the business only starts with writing the book. After that, it's all about getting it known, getting into places where people understand where its availability is, the pricing, the ease of download, and so on. I thought that's good for me. As a business person, you need a budget. Budget is not just in money, it's budgeting specifically your time. If you try to do all the social networks, you'll never do it. So I decided to keep with Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and eventually did a blog and Goodreads, which I still haven't discovered how it works properly, but nonetheless, I'm on there. And over that time, I've assiduously built up a business and personalized relationship with as many people as possible on that. Not saying, please, please buy my books, but saying, hey, here I am, like me or lump me, and this is where I'm coming from. If you like me, you're likely to look to see my work. And that's what happened. I'm now at 12,000 direct contacts.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, because there's something in here about your overall philosophy of not just hawking books, rather asking for help and saying, you know, how can you help get my book in front of other people? I mean, I really enjoyed the self-deprecating humor in your blog. I mean, I want to read one small section of it where you say, there's an old saying my grandfather used to quote, well, it would be if old Gramps was pitching it right. You become an overnight success after 50 years hard slog. I've been in paid most of the time employment for just about 5 decades worth that he spoke of. I'm certainly not going to trouble the compilers at the Forbes richest 10 million people on the planet list. And this goes on and on and on in what would best be described as a rather disjointed stream of consciousness manner, but it works. It absolutely grabbed me and dragged me into this whole idea of this is an interesting guy. How does the interesting guy, this pattern and system of writing, work for you in terms of selling books?
Very, very simply. In any author's armory, he has what's known as his voice. That's the novels. What I have intentionally done with the blog is to make it my brand. Now, a brand you can describe. A voice for an author you cannot describe, but you can recognize it. For example, if you read anything by Lee Child without seeing his name on the cover, you would recognize it. Try to describe it, very difficult. Same with Dickens, same with Shakespeare. However, a brand, for my brand is, I'm just the old green-haired old Jurassic here bumbling around on the web, which I still am, and I share that in a way that other people can empathize with and hopefully laugh at themselves as I laugh at myself. And by doing that, I've invented these couple of characters as well. I'm supposedly in a place where matron comes every now and again and shoots me up with a syringe. Lord knows what's in it. And that keeps me under control. And Mabel is this kind of like the invisible rabbit that we had in the movies a long time ago with Jimmy Stewart, that I keep referring to Mabel. And that lets me get this flow of consciousness, as you call it. And that has been so successful. I put a collection of the blog posts out just a week ago, and it's selling also now.
Well, it's just, I mean, it really is a very unique and innovative approach, and obviously successful. And I don't know too many authors that have sold almost 70,000 copies of their work. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about the one area that you say you haven't quite figured out, because I struggle with it as well. And that's this site called Goodreads. I mean, I keep getting invites. I've got an account, but I don't quite know how to use it. So I'd like you to share with me, and also with the other writers that watch this program, some of the tips you've picked up along the way about Goodreads.
Goodreads is the single most mysterious element that I have in all that 5 elements that I try to work with. I go onto Goodreads and I've built up over 2,000 connections with that, friends as they call it. And every time I've pushed my book out, either on the freebie Kindle one or when I do a normal promotion, I will hit every page, 50 at a time, and that goes out to all these people, telling them when I'm launching. I try to include a little bit of my humor to invite them to look at it, and so on. There are some reading groups where you will be invited in, like, for example, I pretended in one that I was invited into a crochet needlework one. Yeah, that'll do me. I'm into that. Then the next one, how am I going to repair tin hats for soldiers? Yeah, I'll do that. You've got to focus in on where it makes sense, i.e. things like crime authors' readerships, or detective novel followers, or humor followers. You have to be very focused again, like anything. I still haven't figured out completely how it works, and it's impossible to gauge what kind of success, if any, is coming from that source. But these guys profess to have more than 12 million readers, and I'm sure a large slug of these are authors just like myself, who probably also read. But the idea is to get out there, and hopefully one of these days somebody's going to catch it, and then the word of mouth takes over. That's the strategy.
It truly is a fascinating strategy, and I want to talk a little bit about more when we return with part 3 of our interview here with Seumas Gallacher. We're going to dive deeper into his books and learn the future of Jack Calder, if there is one. Now, there's a tease that should bring you all back. When Book View continues, stay right here.